Alright, so welcome you guys. Welcome back to the channel. This is Drawing with Michael. I am, of course, Michael. Welcome back to the channel. I'm using the DSLR today, so hopefully everything will stay in focus. Not really sure. I don't use it that often. So yesterday I did a review on the Blackwing Palomino Volume 10 pencil. For you guys want to get into the Blackwing program, it's a great program / pencils. It's a great company that makes really great products at a premium price. So just be conscious of that. I had some guy that indicated, hey man, Blackwings don't cost $100. Yeah, they don't. You know, each volume's about $24 plus shipping and handling. And then whenever they go out of rotation, then they get some more value. And I've seen some on eBay go from $150 to $100 to $150, $75 is pretty much the norm whenever they go out of rotation, depending on the the number of runs they did. Anyway, so today, just to kind of take a step back, and keeping with the random theme that my channel seems to have whenever it comes to stuff, because I have, I have attention deficit disorder severely to the point where I need to just do things different every day. It's terrible, I know. We're going to do something that, this is a Koh-i-Noor Triograph 2B pencil, and it's really big. The graphite's really big. For those of you guys know too, in the marketplace you have ebony pencils made by Prismacolor. I'm sure this is probably, in terms of graphite, like an 8B or a 9B. And then of course, whenever you get into the higher end echelon of pencils, you get stuff like woodless pencils. Here's a woodless graphite. The entire pencil's made of graphite, so it's got a real nice stroke to it. And you can get those in different hardnesses and thicknesses. And the higher the number in the B range, let's say a 9B, that means it has more graphite. Whereas if you go in the other range, the H range, the 9H has more clay. So we're going to do a little bit of characters today in graphite. I don't have my right glasses on. That's alright. We'll just fly. We'll just fly with it. What makes this pencil a little bit different is the size of the lead. Also, the shape of the barrel. It doesn't have a traditional barrel. These have round barrels. Round barrels. And, which I love. I love round barrels. But I also like having a faceted barrel, which is what this is. And then you have, of course, the tri-shaped barrel, and then there's another pencil that I don't think I have one of those with me. It's a flat barrel, and a lot of times those are used for construction work. So today we're just gonna be having a little bit of fun, drawing some pictures, right? It's a weird time of the year for me. Right now it's finals. Where I work, where I teach, so I'm having to kind of switch gears mentally and do things to kind of facilitate that whole process. And of course, after that's done, then I'll be able to get back to my normally scheduled programming whenever it comes to drawing on a regular basis. It's really complex because I want to give my all to the whole, teaching process, and I want to make sure that I give the kids everything they need. So, whenever I sit down and grade, I'm not just, giving them lip service and saying, oh, you're so great, oh, you're wonderful, oh, blowing smoke up their heinies. I want to give them constructive criticism that'll help them, but also be an encouragement. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of my, my professional collegiate teaching career. It's finals week! Ah! And two, I'm one of those teachers that, even though I believe, man, this was hidden. I didn't know where this was. I believe in testing, because how else are you going to measure the the fact that they retain some of the information? How are you going to measure that, right? You're just going to ask them, hey, you retain some of the information, and they're going to be like, yeah. Testing, I think, is a valid way of determining and ascertaining that particular dimension of teaching. But I also recognize, because I was one of those guys that didn't take tests very well. And man, I would hate to have a student get discouraged in art because they failed a test. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll incorporate the pop quizzes and stuff in discussion and include it in the participation grades. So it's very important, you know, for those of you students who have my class that, you know, that are watching my channel. I don't know if there's any of them that do. I don't push my channel to my students. It's not their job to make my channel grow. You know, I make sure that I pay attention, you know, to who answers the questions on a regular basis. And ultimately, at the end of the day, those are the students that, you know, will get the participation grade. And one of the things that I've learned throughout teaching in all my years is a lot of times the students will learn from other students. So, you know, in terms of perspective, a lot of times whenever you have an adult teaching, there's you know, a little bit of angst there and resistance. I'm not feeling this pencil. This pencil actually is a little bit too hard for me. It's good, I think, for just really simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my simple little draft here. And then, you know, eyelashes come up like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with a much softer graphite lead. A little bit of chin coming out here. And then I will define some of these lines a bit better, because I feel like whenever I press hard, I'm not getting the hard line definition that I really want. And as you guys know, that's important whenever you're drawing. You know, you want to have a tool that doesn't work against you, it works with you. And I know some people sit here and they're like, la 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 la. I don't la la la, right? I'm very shape oriented. I'm very bigger picture oriented. That's why you guys know that I love to sketch. I love that broad stroke. Let's do this. His eyes a little bit open, a little bit further. Here we go. And I like locking my wrist. I'm not a noodler until I get into the noodle stage. But whenever I first start drawing, I am really just looking for broad strokes, you know, broad shapes, and very loose. Stay very loose. Hopefully the DSLR is working with me and it's not working against me. Okay. As I move through here, I'm balancing, right? I'm seeing perspective. So if I were to draw a perspective box on here, right? Maybe it looks something like this, right? Maybe it's actually like this, because the perspective kind of comes at you like that. So in my brain, I see this, right? And I'm continually reaffirming those shapes and those forms and define them a little bit better as I move forward. I mean, this pencil's okay. Like I said, I can press hard and I'm not getting the dark line that I really, really want. Let's give him a little bit of fins here. Yeah. One of the things that I've noticed, especially, you know, with students and artists that don't draw or have a firm grasp in anatomy, is some of the mistakes that are made whenever it pertains to you know, drawing creatures and stuff like that. What really helps me is knowing, you know, whenever I draw an eyeball, that, you know, a large portion of that eyeball is inside of the head. So whenever I draw, let's draw a little bit of iris here. You know, I know that there's going to be volumes that are inside. So I need to make provision for that whenever I'm drawing the, you know, the creature. Let's have a little nostril cavity here, and then there's one right here, right? Yeah. Not bad. Give him a little turtleneck action. Because it is cold. By the way, I am not a cold-natured guy. In fact, I love hot weather. You know, I moved up here to Georgia because of some opportunities, and I don't regret it at all. The challenge is the weather. You know, and you guys up north are going to be like, dude, you don't know what cold is. No, I do. I've experienced 0 on my porch. You know, the last few nights. It's been chilly. It's been, you know, it's been in the 20s. So it is cold, right? Now, I don't go out and ride my bike during this time, which is terrible because I love riding my bike. But I know what cold is. And it has been friggin' cold, right? My wife laughs at me. She's like, the older you get, you just get cold. And I'm like, whatever, woman. Whatever, woman. You do realize I never say that to my wife, right? Not scared of my wife. It's just a respect thing. I'm not going to treat her poorly. Okay. So, 1, 2. So he's got some fins back here. Okay. Just something fun. I'm going to shade that in. Right? Maybe he's got a little... Comes like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch my pencil. I'm going to switch it. What am I switch it to? I do like me some Prismacolor Dark. Another pro tip for you guys: whenever you're you know, drawing with graphite, it's good to have a graphite only pencil sharpener, and it's good to have a colored pencil only pencil sharpener. When you mix the two, you start having issues. And two, what I don't like is this, how sharp that is. So what I'll typically do, you know, at the end of the day, the best thing to do is to use a pocket knife. That's what I did in college. Now you notice how much darker this is than this right here, because it's got more graphite in it. Prisma ebony pencils, I'm not sure what B they are. They're probably, like I said, like 8B, 9B. And they've got a lot of graphite. So they're a little bit more expensive than your average pencil. Alright, so let's get started here. Okay. I do like me some pencil. Yeah, see how nice dark that is. And two, I'm not going in and I'm not retracing per se. I'm pushing, it's called pushing the pose, right? I'm pushing that pose a little bit. Okay, so this comes all the way back here. Kind of friendly. He's got a friendly demeanor to him. He's like, hey guys, what's up? Again, that's my inner voice. Every time I do stuff like this, I speak to myself. It's one of those deals, bro. I speak to myself. I'm sorry. Variation of line weight. You know, I talk about this in class, and having that in your repertoire. That's a big word. So variation of line weight. Obviously, whenever you're drawing with a pencil tip, you're going to get a singular, depending on how hard you push. But whenever you put it over on its side, you can get a nice variation of line weight. And what that does is it varies. It helps you build volumes and gives your drawing life, right? So, you know, even this, typically I might cut this right here because I want to be able to kind of carve. So a lot of times, instead of having it like this, I'll put it under my pinky right here. And what that does is I start treating it more like a brush, right? Still keeping my, you know, the way that I do my forms and stuff. Got some baggage right here. And this is a little bit darker under here. And what's really cool with these is now the tip isn't really sharp, so I can come underneath here and I've got this nice dark line. Nice variation of line weight. Maybe I'll put a little bit of value under there. Right? And I'll shade that in slightly. Shade that in slightly. I've got this eye cavity that comes up, and he's got this brow, because his brow right here starts right here. So now this brow is kind of furrowed, right? And I'll have these. And look, I'm not pressing overly hard, but I'm getting great saturation of value in terms of how this pencil reacts with the Bristol board. You know? Okay, here. I found out something interesting about my video camera, and I got about 4 minutes left on this slot. Whenever it comes to DSLRs, for them not to be classified as video cameras, they're limited to either 20 or 30-minute time spans when recording. So I was very frustrated for a long time because I'd be recording and with my DSLR, and then boom, it was shut off. The thing is I don't know, for them to be classified as a camera, a traditional, you know, film camera, and that probably has to do with regulation and regulatory stuff. They have to limit their recording to a 20 or 30-minute time span. I don't know what probably depends on the size, the 4K, 5K, whatever. So I don't know how that applies to phones. How do phones get away with that? I don't know. Either way, so with DSLRs, just know if it cuts around that 25 to 30 minute, there's a reason for it. Is because, you know, whenever you sell it and you're marketing it as a traditional quote-unquote film camera and not a video camera, then boom, you're going to run into that issue. So what I do is I have my phone in my pocket set to an alarm set to 19 minutes, so whenever that hits, I'll stop it and then I'll start it again. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So if there's just a little hiccup, that's why. Okay, so I've been doing, or posting, I've been posting Christmas-inspired artworks to the Instagram. If you don't currently follow me on Instagram, I try and post something every day or every other day. Whether it's an old piece of art or whether it's a new piece of art. I say a lot. I just noticed that. Ugh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. You know, follow me on Instagram. You know, look me up. Michael Clarida. And, you know, enjoy the ride. Okay, I think this particular one is in the bag. I'm going to go to the next one really quick. And we're going to go ahead and stop the camera because we're just about out of time. Okay, so this one is pretty much sketched out. You know, I can go back in using the side of the pencil here and put in some simple value. And what's really cool about the really soft is you can get some nice shading in here, nice strokes. I mean, it just feels so good whenever you do this, right? You know, this paper isn't really textured per se, so whenever I put the value down, it does bring out that limited texture of the surface of the paper. There's different not hardnesses, there are different textures of paper depending on if you get hot or cold press, if you get watercolor paper and whatnot. But I find that, you know, I like using Bristol board for large format sketching like this. So let's go ahead and move this over slightly for you guys. Yeah. So let's do this. Oh, we're gonna go back to this one. So we're back to the Koh-i-Noor Heartmouth. This says it's to be or not to be. Is the absolute question. Not really sure about that. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure. I'm not feeling that. Not really feeling that at all. Not a bad pencil to sketch with. I don't want to put it down, right? We all have our hang-ups of what we like and what we don't like. It is a good sketch pencil, right? I'm not putting stuff down. That's why I think it's so funny that I got that comment yesterday about the Blackwing pencil. People take things seriously, dude. I'm like, whoa, you know, okay, I got you, buddy. You know, not $100. And then, of course, me being a person of consistency, I had emailed, not emailed, but I had posted a link. Yeah, sometimes they are $100, of course, if they're the collector series. But from the site, you know, there are options at Blackwing that you can get subscriptions, which I think is really cool. But again, you're looking at paying, you know, $25 for 12 pencils. You know, just a little bit over $2 a pencil. Of course, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, not for a premium product. See, that's the deal. Premium product. You know, just like whenever you guys buy $1,000 iPhones, it's like, why does iPhones cost so much daggone money? I mean, good Lord. Well, it's a supercomputer in your pocket. There you go. So this is kind of like a fish, one of those creatures from way down in the depths, right? Maybe he's got his gill set right here. It comes around. He's got some baggage. Come here. They all got baggage. It just helps sell the character overall, what it is. And again, I'm just literally, this is the rough stage. Just having fun. Just literally, you know, maybe he's got a little bow tie. Let's give him a little bow tie. Why so serious? Why so serious? There we go. A little bow tie. Right? He's like, I gave you the cheese on the salad. Went to Olive Garden recently. I like Olive Garden. And, of course, you know, it was during the quote-unquote holiday season, and they had Christmas music playing, and man, it was nice. I enjoy me some Olive Garden. It was quiet. Of course, we were in the middle of the day. They had all the white-haired people, you know, all the ladies having their lunch. All those ladies having their lunch. My son, he's like, Daddy, we're like the youngest people in here. I'm like, yes, we are. Which is good. Okay, let's go ahead and give him a little gill set right here. There we go. Right there. Here. Okay. Okay, he's got his pupil right here. Again, come over here. He's got it right there. Okay. He's like, bro, I gave you the cheese on the salad, bro. I go too far. I don't want to run into my other drawing. I don't plan things out very well, do I? You suck! Okay. Alright, so I've got my rough sketch in. Let's do this. There always has to be some type of semblance to existing anatomy. So I don't like the way this eye is coming here in that cavity, right? Because it's got a, I don't like that at all. Oh, I messed it up. I messed it up. Ha-ha! I win. You suck. He's got his little brow that comes in. He's got a brush like that. Got his little nostril that comes here. Nostril that comes here. Right? Okay. So we're going to switch. He's got his tongue. I'm going to have his tongue come out a little bit. Okay. Come up. Maybe it's got spots on it. It's got spots. You don't want to get with these spots. They'll blech, blech. That's what I hear. Blech. Maybe he's got some slobber coming out here. Blech, blech. Right? Just so you guys know, I do have a lot of work to do today, and then I'm teaching, which is always nice. I love to teach. Gives me a little bit of reprieve from my day-to-day volley of items that I have to do. It's got a spot right here, a spot right here, a spot right here, right? And then he's got this eye cavity that comes all the way around here. So there's got to be some type of little brow line because this eye is humongous. So he's got some skin that kind of folds up here. And then he's got these fins that are right here, right? And then I have these lattice lines that come around like that. So now I'm going to switch over. Where are we at? 12 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to my Prismacolor Ebony 14420 pencil. Love these. So now I'm going to go in and I'm just going to start having some fun with putting in some of these values, right? It kind of comes out like that. There we go. Maybe this one's raised. Just maybe they're raised. We'll give a little bit of value and indication of shadow on here. He's got his gill set that comes around here. Bow tie. I recently watched some animation footage of the old 9 Old Men, and it amazed me. I mean, even, I've been doing this a long time. The ability that was present among those early animators, the drawing ability, oh my gosh. I watched some of the guys, just the way that they draw and how they did things, I was in awe, right? Because I look at them and I think to myself, gosh, during that time they didn't have exposure to all of the things that we have now, right? The internet and whatnot. And to do the things that they did and have the natural... See that? I look at that and I see not only a mountain of hard work, because you guys know that I'm a really big proponent of working hard. I also see an enormous amount of talent. The deal is, I might have a degree of talent, but I'm not even in the same ballpark as the guys, the 9 Old Men. Those guys, they were... I mean, just on a next level. Looking at some of the work and watching them draw and the animators and how they did the character designs. One of my idols, of course, is Mark Davis, the Renaissance man. And he, painter, animator, he was one of the original Imagineers, And seeing that really inspires me. And seeing how they drew. Let's get this little bit of divot right there. It's got this little area right here, right? I was in awe. Put it that way. I'm always in awe to watch people draw, even though I draw all the time. Because to see that process and how they do things and adding that to my tool belt, right, is something that I, want to do all the time. I love watching people draw. I watch drawing videos all the time. Even people that aren't, quote unquote, what we would refer to as good. It's always good to watch them draw because it gives you, I think, a little bit better understanding of how people learn. And to me, that's, of course, I'm a teacher. That's important. I want to watch, I want to make sure and I teach something proper. Let's do this. Let's give it a little bit here. Where are we at? Okay. So we're at 8 minutes left on this particular slot. Okay. So let's get a little bit of shadow right here because he's got this thing that comes here. Okay. So whenever you do shadows, I think a lot of times we have a blanket thought as to how shadows and light works. Whenever light comes, it is a straight line, right? It's coming in multiple straight lines. So whenever you have, like, the light will shine, let's say I have, it's kind of coming from above. So I'm shadowing under here. I'm going to have this form come here, and I know this is rounded, okay? We talked about that before, having that thought, that forethought of three-dimensionality and how that's rounded, right? And even this right here is going to have some shadow on it as it progresses through, depending on how, you know, these scales and the forms work. And then you're going to have this eye that comes out, right? So you're going to maybe have some eye shine. I've already shown the eye shine right here. So now, down here, maybe it's going to lead a little bit darker. Now, of course, we're going to have a shadow here because we've got the eyelashes, right? It's set into the head, but, you know, I've got this highlight here. I got this highlight here, here, and again, you know, we come here and we're going to shadow, get this little shadow. So we're going to turn our pencil on its side. We're going to shadow here, here, and this is going to be really dark in here because this area right here is all in shadow. And this goes here. I know I do something, and one of my students pointed it out to me. He goes, dude, you need to slow down. You're just saying here, 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 and you're not making any sense. So what I'm going to do, I'm sorry about that, by the way. I'm going to grab one of my woodless pencils. I need to make sure that I've got the right. Okay, so this is HB. This is 2H. 2H is too hard, right? I don't want 2H. I don't have my other ones here. What is this, Russia? What is this, Russia? Good grief! I don't know where all my other pencils are. Okay, so we're going to draw with an HB. And so, one of the things you have to think, too, is this is encased in plastic, just so you don't get crap all over your hands all the time. And you can get rid of that, but what I'm going to do, actually, I don't like that at all. That didn't feel good at all. So, I'm going to come here, and I've got this shadow that goes across the tongue. And the tongue, it's round, right? So, you need to remember that. So, I've got this shadow. And then I got the shadow. The tongue is going to be slightly lighter than the background. Right? And down here it's going to be dark. I got these dark teeth. Right? Got this really dark area right here. Got the pencil on its side. Gives me the maximum width. Right? So then, I mean, I could literally sit here and I could draw 1,000 little circles. But for what I'm doing this morning, I'm just having fun. Now we're going to define some of these areas right here a little bit more. Maybe he's a Galactic Empire rebel. Nice. Jawline comes here. Okay, I'm going to shadow underneath. Maybe some spots here and there. Okay. He's got his eye socket right here, comes around. Okay. Maybe the shadows are right here. Okay. Okay. I think, based upon the fact that I only got 4 minutes, oh my gosh, 4 minutes! It's so funny in the morning. I have to give my son a countdown. Because if I don't give him a countdown, what will inadvertently happen is he'll blow through all of the time that he has in the morning. And, well, you know, it'll be like 2 minutes before we need to leave, and he'll be in the bathroom singing. Because my son is a singer. He loves to sing. Just like his daddy. Just like his daddy back in the day whenever I sang. I like this. This could come out. This could be like part of this. Yeah. And then it goes like that. Yeah. He's got these two prongs that come out. Boom! From his lower part of his jaw. Kind of like Terminator. Or not Terminator. Remember whenever the first time we saw the Predator? Yeah, baby. Predator. Anyway, I think that's going to just... Oh, I'm going to do these. So. Yeah. Kind of going all the way up here and there. I think that's it for today, guys. So today I started out using the Koh-i-Noor Heart Tooth, whatever, Triograph 2B pencil. It's the barrel shape is kind of, you know, cut in such a way that it's very comfortable. Nice sketch pencil, and then I moved on to the Prismacolor Ebony. Yesterday I did the Blackwing review, which I love the Blackwing. I'm actually going to purchase some soft ones and maybe do a follow-up. A follow-up, if you guys want that. As long as you don't say they cost $100, which they don't. Only specific out-of-rung sets do. Right? Out of production. Out of rung. What is that? Alright, guys. We'll see you on the other side. I don't want to stop. I just love to draw. Alright, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.